on this series, I'm going to go into the third foundational movement, the hinge. Now, the hinge is a movement in the hips. So this is activating your posterior chain. What does that mean in English? This is making sure that you're working all the muscles on the back side of your legs. So the squats and the lunges, that's quads and that's glutes. And now with the hinge, we are working a little low back, we're working our mid back as we're keeping our back nice and flat and engaged, and we're also stretching out those hamstrings. This is the most common way to stretch your hamstrings, and this is a great way to help build strength in the back of your legs for going on longer hikes, making sure that you still got power later in that hike so that you can continue to go off and see cooler things out in nature. So let's talk about that hinge. So to demonstrate, I'm going to use this sandbag. Many of you who work out with me have seen it before, and I hope you guys can get a personal training session with me one day. Now, the hinge is great for movements like the deadlift or the good morning, down dog in yoga, for example. I'll show you all three of these. So again, from the hips, we're going to fire our hips back. So now we are on our heels, and from here we're going to lower our shoulders towards the ground, keeping our hands and the weight close to our shins. In this deadlift, you want to feel your hamstrings, the back of your legs, stretch. Now, I'm going to come back up and take a quick little rest. So, what's important for safety is the posture of your spine. Now, a good deadlift is going to have a nice flat back. What does that mean? We want to make sure that we pull our belly button in tight to our stomach to keep protecting our spine on the inside, and then keeping those shoulders down and back. As you push your hips backwards, note how my back stays nice and flat. You could possibly eat dinner off of it, and then I'll come back up. Common problems that will lead to pain is rounded shoulders and a rounded back as you go into your deadlift. Now I'm lifting not with my legs and my butt, I'm lifting with my lower back, and that's going to lead to pain. Maybe not today, but if I do too many incorrectly, down the road it's going to lead to some injury. So again, we're working on stretching the hamstrings, keeping our back flat as we come back up. Other ways you can see the hinge are going to be in the exercise, the good morning. Now that's very much like a deadlift, except the weight is loaded on your shoulders instead of on your front side. Now what this does is puts a little bit more strain on your mid back to keep that posterior chain engaged and strong. So again, from a good position, pull your belly button in, push your hips backwards, staying on your heels, lowering your shoulders down, feel the stretch in the hamstrings, squeeze your glutes as you come on up, try to crack a walnut if you know what I mean. So push your hips back and bring it on up, keeping your back nice and flat, staying on your heels and engaging your glutes by squeezing them at the top. Now, last one, I'm going to show you downward dog. That's another way we would do a hinge. This is a great stretch for your calves, great for warm-ups, great for cool-downs, and I want to make sure that we get this one right because it's so foundational. It's one of my favorite movements. Now, the hinge again is in the hips. The downward dog is a yoga position that starts in the push-up position. So, starting with our hands and our feet, hands directly underneath our shoulders, feet where they land, we're going to push our hips up high to the sky, keep our arms straight, trying to reach our heels down to the ground. We want to press our chest towards our feet, and we're hinging in the hips here. What we don't want to do, we don't want to be on our toes, and we don't want to have a rounded back. This is not a downward dog because we're not stretching our calves, and we're not engaging our back through this exercise. You're going to return back to the push-up position. That's a great way to take a break while you're doing your push-ups. So that, my friends, is 3 different versions of the hinge. You'll see them in a bunch of different ways that we do our exercises out in the field as we get farther on down the road. So thank you very much for watching. Like, follow, subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time.